So tonight it's prime time, not in the booth for Phillip Rivers, but on the field against the Tennessee Titans. Odds provided by PointsBet Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of NBC Sports. Let's do some props. Derrick Henry, Titans running back, been down a little bit lately. Over under 80.5 rushing yards against that great Colts defense.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be tough sledding running the football against this defense with the Colts. So they play a lot of 8-man fronts. DeForest Buckner is an under the radar defensive player of the year candidate. He's a guy that's like, Mike, he's our perfect, F the play up type guy. He really is. He's so disruptive. He's everywhere. The stats don't really tell how good he is. Darius Leonard, another just phenomenal football player. You watch him last week against Lamar Jackson. I've never seen anybody at linebacker position more comfortable with tackling Lamar Jackson in one-on-one space than ever. I'm going to go over here, but just barely over. I'm not going to I think they'll stay patient with the run because they know this is a really good defense and they need to stay patient with it to open up some play action pass and things like that. But I think it'll be a 24 rushes for 85-yard type of game. I could see that in this one.
Yeah, look, it's not going to be easy. And this is a guy who typically starts slowly and then finds his stride. He started fast this year and has kind of fallen off a bit. And if he's going to make that push for the second half, it begins tonight. Remember, it was that Thursday night game a couple of years ago against the Jaguars when he just exploded onto the scene, and he's never looked back since then. That's the kind of night that I think he needs tonight if the Titans are going to win this game comfortably. And maybe they won't. Maybe it will be kind of a grinded-out game, and it's going to be a close game, and Derrick Henry's not going to pop the way he did against the Jaguars when he went – what would he go, 99 yards in that game? Did he go 99?
Yeah. I mean, gosh,
matching
he had the
Tony
Texans
Dorsett.
Game. He had the 97-yarder this year. I mean, they feasted on some of the poor defenses in football in the run game. I just can't imagine them feasting tonight. And one thing we've all forgot a little bit with Tennessee, hey, their best offensive lineman's out for the year. Taylor Lewan. I mean, there's no as soon as he's gone out, they have not been as dominant in the run game. I don't think there's any way to really finagle that conversation. He's a damn good player, so that's hurt them as well. But this Colts D is real. They're the real deal.
Next prop, will quarterback Ryan Tannehill throw an interception? So I guess that would put the over-under at 0.5. Chris, what do you got?
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say he throws one tonight. I will. With this defense, their ability to pressure with the front four all the time, drop 7 into coverage, I think big plays will be tough tonight, where he'll probably have to squeeze some ball into tight windows. I say he makes one mistake tonight, yes.
Ryan Tannehill has 19 touchdown passes, 3 interceptions on the season.
Yeah.
The Indianapolis defense has 11 interceptions, tied for the most in the NFL. I'll go with you. 1 interception tonight for Ryan Tannehill. All right, A.J. Brown, over under 63.5 receiving yards for the Tennessee Titans.
I'm going to go over here. I am, because I just think the play-action pass will be a big deal. And the other thing, Mike, you've heard me say this. When the Colts, they play that Seattle scheme on defense. It lends you to being able to play some one-on-one football out on the edge, to where, like we've seen in other weeks. DK Metcalf against the 49ers, same scheme, right on the defensive side of the ball. Oh, we'll just attack them. Our guy's better than your guy. To me, that Tennessee would be stupid not to take advantage of that a little bit. The Colts defense is awesome as it is. The corners are not top-notch. They're not. They're zone-type corners, to where I would think they could play just a little, hey, we're better than you type football, and he gets over 63.5 yards between that and the play-action pass.
Xavier Rhodes has been great for the Colts this year after he was much maligned by the Vikings fans and media, and for good reason. He had fallen off dramatically. He's had a resurgence this year. Last year, he allowed an 84% completion percentage in coverage. That was 83rd out of 84 cornerbacks in the NFL. This year, he's allowing a 45% completion percentage. That's the best of all corners. So something happens. Sometimes you get cut, you get a new start, you get a different defense, get a new breath of fresh air, and you turn it around. And kudos to Rhodes for finding a strong second act to his career.
Right. And you look at him, right? You see him. He's trimmed up. He's not as big as he was in Minnesota. That's the first thing I see when I look at him. I just go, he looks like he's in better shape this year. And, a little bit like Richard Sherman leaving Seattle and going to San Francisco, too. I don't sit there and just go, oh, he blows me away or anything like that. I just go, yeah, he's real good. He's a really good corner. He does not great, but just real good. But when he's in the great system fit now, too. That's the other thing, we talk about. It's the perfect thing for him. Hey, jam the guy at the line of scrimmage, run back, and don't let him get deep. And we just talked, their pass rush is phenomenal. So there's not a lot of time for these quarterbacks to make decisions and let people work down the field on Xavier Rhodes, too. So that plays hand in hand there, and that's why it's a good marriage so far.
One of my great regrets this year in picking games was forgetting that when Rhodes was with the Vikings, he neutralized Julio Jones every time they played the Falcons. And without Rhodes, Jones ripped up the Vikings defense. So, Rhodes still has it, and he's proven it this year, and that's going to be a factor tonight, most likely. Phillip Rivers, will he have a completion of 40 or more yards tonight, Chris? Yes or no?
Mike, this is something we didn't hit on in the first hour that I do think is a little bit part of their issue of why their offense isn't as good. We talked about the running game, right, and some of that. Rivers, that there was a little of an issue with the Chargers the last 2 years. It's a little like Drew Brees in the fact that he's just not going to scare you throwing the ball real deep down the field. Yeah, there'll be a lot of 10, 15, 20-yard throws. He's more aggressive than Drew Brees, don't get me wrong. But it's not going to be like, oh, we're worried about the 50-yard post over the top or guys just blazing by us on the outside and he's throwing 50-yard go routes on the outside. That this is a little bit of a problem with them, and I'm going to say that they do get it tonight. They do. With T.Y. Hilton being back in, as bad as this Titans defense has been in the pass game, no pass rush, I think it'll lend itself to at least one completion of over 40 yards.
Yeah, I'm going to go.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to go under just because you went over.
Yeah, good.
I don't have any high-level analysis. It's just a gut feeling it's going to be under, even though T.Y. Hilton will indeed be playing. Rivers only has 2 completions of 40 or more yards all season. I'm comfortable sticking with the under. All right, Jonathan Taylor, we talked about him earlier. Frank Reich, the coach of the Colts, says they still have faith in him. Over under 42.5 rushing yards. What do you think?
I'm going to go over. I am. That offensive line, it's not a great run-stopping defense with Tennessee. There's no aspect of the Tennessee defense where you can look at it and go, that's special right now. No, there's really not. So I think they realize if they go up 2 pass heavy, Vrabel can get kind of creative with some of the coverages and blitzes he can bring. They'll stay patient with the run, and I think he'll definitely get over 42.5.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you, and I think he's going to have reason to reestablish himself after what happened last week with that fumble that Chuck Clark returned for the touchdown after he made Phillip Rivers look like anything but the free safety that he was 20 years ago.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.